Hello folks, welcome to the Vinson Voice, a weekly television show where we talk about what's going on in and around your Carl Vinson VA Medical Center here in the lovely Lawrence County, Dublin, Georgia. I am your host, Greg Swartz, and I got a very special guest with me today. This is Miss Angela Coley. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you.
Okay.
All right, so Angela has been with us for how long?
Going on 19 years.
19 years,
19
and
years.
you've done just about everything.
Yes.
Here,
Yes, I
you
have.
started as a nursing assistant?
Nursing assistant. I left there and I went to restorative.
Yeah,
Then
restorative.
I went to logistics.
Mm-hmm.
Then I left there and went to the emergency room, which I loved it.
Yeah.
So I left the emergency room after 5 years, and I'm in telehealth.
Telehealth, that's
And
right.
that's where I hope to stay unless I move to mental health.
Right. And so, in telehealth is one of our, it's growing.
Yes, it
It's
is.
growing.
It is.
We're in the age of technology now, and telehealth, it helps increase with access
Right.
and stuff because we're able to reach veterans.
In the rural areas.
That's right.
Right, where they can't, where they don't have the VA
Mm-hmm.
near them. So we have a lot of telers out there, like teleneurology,
Mm-hmm.
which they have a provider in Bronx, New York,
Mm-hmm.
with the telecardiology.
Right.
And then we have TBI, which is traumatic brain injury,
Mm-hmm.
and that's with Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And then we have mental health, which links up with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our ID clinic, which is infectious disease,
Right.
and that's with Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the
Do we do telederm? Do we do that
the
also?
telederm that's here,
Yeah. Okay.
right? That's
okay.
here. And then we have retinal, but we have the VOD, which is video on demand,
Okay.
and that's where for emergency appointments
Mhm.
or urgent,
Right.
you can schedule that right then and there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's good for 12 hours.
Okay.
And then you have VVC, which is VA Video Connect,
Mm-hmm.
where make the appointment, schedule
Right.
appointment,
Yeah.
and then once the patient and the provider clicks on this link,
Mm-hmm.
it will bring y'all into a virtual medical room where
Oh, wow.
it's very secure and private.
Yeah, right,
So that's
right.
that's good.
Oh, that's cool.
good because you can do it from your home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got.
And you can also use, I got one of my friends, a real good friend of mine that uses, he can do his appointment with his telephone.
Right.
With his smartphone. That is so neat.
As long as you got the web, the camera.
Yeah.
You can do that. It's awesome.
Man, that is so
It
neat.
is.
I mean, you're
It's
walking
awesome.
around with an appointment and stuff.
Yeah.
That is, I
Yeah.
love it. I love
And
it. See, I'm one of them techie nerds.
Right.
And so
You are.
you're turning into one of them techie nerds too. Now,
You
but
are.
yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, man, that is technology. Anything new coming up as far as technology?
Just that.
Just that.
those two.
Okay. Well, that is neat. So, also, Miss Angela Coley, way back in what, January? Was it January?
December.
December. She was given the title of Clinical Employee of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know. That is
Thank you.
very
Thank you.
well deserved.
Thank
Very
you.
well
Thank
deserved.
you.
And stuff. And like I said, you've been here for 19 years, and you've kind of had your hands in everything.
Right.
And I got 16 years under my belt now too. So
Okay.
yeah, we're running. We're running.
We are.
That's
I
right.
love it. I love every bit of it.
I know you do. And then so also, gosh, what else? Oh yeah. So being that it's Women's History Month,
Okay.
what woman has inspired you to get you to where you're going today?
I would have to say 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first would be my mom.
Absolutely.
She's in heaven, but she, my dad was in the military, so
Mhm.
she was a stay-at-home mom
Right.
with 5 of us, 5
Mhm,
kids, and then
mhm.
my grandmother lived with us.
Mm-hmm.
She babysitted inside the home and
Yeah.
made macrame.
Wow.
So that's how she made the excellent money. But
So that's where you get your crafty stuff from.
Right, right.
All right.
And then, she held down the household
Mm-hmm.
while my dad was away.
Right.
And she kept everything together, everything going. In any situation, she held it together.
Mhm.
So for that, I know how to handle stress,
Right.
family-wise.
Right,
you
right,
know.
absolutely.
So my mom would be one, and then the next one would be myself.
Right, okay.
The person I see
That's what
every
I'm
day
talking about.
in the mirror, myself.
That's right.
Because, you know, I have overcome a lot, and then when you wake up every day in the morning, you're going to have new changes, new experiences.
Right. Every day's a new day.
Right, that's true. And then overcoming your fears. You know, everything's going to be different, so I'm just inspired by myself.
All right, here we go.
And then the last one is Teresa L. Holmes.
Teresa L. Holmes, that's right.
I love her.
I know, that's right. We went through her mentoring program and together, and we learned a lot.
I can't say enough for this lady, but she had did so much for me. She really changed my life because she had this. She started out with this program, After Hours.
Yep, I remember that.
It was supposed to be only for 3 months. After the 3 months, we wanted more. So another 3 months. Before we know it was a year. 3 months turned into a year. And after all the training that she gave us, the mentoring, the 3 things that stood out the most was she helped me overcome self-esteem, self-confidence, and most of all, my me time.
There you go.
You got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, who will?
That's right.
And then lastly, dare to be your own best friend.
There you go. That's it.
But she's awesome.
Yes, I know. You know, I know. Yeah, you know, we both came up in her program and stuff, and she was very, very inspirational to both of us at the time.
I mean, she give you the tools, and you got to do it, especially public speaking. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because you're like a little flower bud, just stuck in that little in those leaves and stuff.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to this public speaking, and I didn't know that I was supposed to speak.
Yeah, you were scared to death.
Yeah, and I'm running to the door, and she's up there standing there like, where you going?
Exactly.
I had to do what I do, but you know, ever since then, I learned the techniques.
That's it. You're good now. You are.
I'm not a pro, but I'm good.
No, you're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. Well, that is awesome. You know, it's like I said, we both came up through her program, and she's got to be one of my inspirations too. You know, she actually saved my life and stuff, and that's a story for another time. But yeah, you know the story.
Yes, I do.
You know the story. I told you.
She's
about
a good one.
She is. All right. Well, Angela, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on the show today.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And you're going to keep doing great things.
Always.
Like you always do.
Always.
I know.
I love my veterans.
There you go. That's right. We both do. So, all right. All right, folks. We'll be back with more Vinson Voice.
At Bank of Dudley, we understand that buying a new home is a time of many decisions, and we're here to help and answer all of your questions that might arise during the mortgage loan process. Our mortgage specialists, Shirley Clements and Sherry Adderholt, have over 75 years of combined mortgage experience, backed by a bank that has served this community since 1905. Call or come by and visit with Sherry or Shirley at our Veterans Boulevard branch, or go online at bankofdudley.com and get started today. Bank of Dudley, creating a custom mortgage experience with competitive rates and terms is what service is all about. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Green, broker with Excel Realty Group. The decision to sell your home is dependent on many factors. Whatever your reasons for selling, my proven effective marketing plans will ensure you the highest possible price for your home. I guarantee to provide you with professional, ethical, and confidential service and keep you well informed every step of the way. Call me at 478-279-2009, or you may email me at tiffanygreen421@gmail.com. Let's get started today.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Vinson Voice. You know, we're doing kind of a women's history theme going on here on the show today. Once again, I'm your host, Greg Swartz, and I got another very special friend with me. We've been working closely for how many years now?
Almost 11.
Almost 11 years. Wow, Miss Laura Vertin. And thank you for being on the show. All right. So, Miss Laura, you've been here for 11 years.
It'll be 11 years next month.
Wow, that is amazing. And you started out in social work.
Social worker, I am.
And then you went to, did you go to education
for 5 years.
Yep.
And I've just recently transitioned last month to be a clinical application coordinator.
CAC is what they call it. This is clinical application coordinators, CAC. So, what does a CAC, how does a CAC person help our veterans? What do we do there?
Well, it's the use of computer science to make sure that when we have appointments with veterans that we are doing all that we can to address their health care needs.
Okay.
So it's looking at how we can set up templates or questions for the physician or nurse or whomever is seeing them to go through to make sure we're asking these specific questions.
Okay, and is it designed for each individual patient, or
some things
is it kind
are,
of a general?
You got some that are general and you've got some that are specific. Like this morning, for instance, I was working on a template for those who have a history of traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
So those veterans are going to have some challenges coming in. And so they may not think to ask certain questions, or they may not think to report a symptom or something that's happened. They may not realize that it's tied together. And so it's a tool that our providers can use to make sure we're asking those questions and also to prompt the veteran to give that information. So it's blending the two together, looking at how we can make sure we're making the care that we need for our veterans.
Absolutely. And you've been doing this for a long time, and like you said, you just went into this position, but for 5 years you were in the education department, and you took it. You're kind of one of the ones behind the scenes that took it to where it's never been before. I mean, it took it to new heights for employee education. You developed the HOP program, which is
higher opportunity
for promotion, and then the STEP program is
Steps toward employment promotion.
Steps toward employment promotion, and then of course we had the eval already established and stuff, but the HOP and STEP program were kind of your babies there.
They were, again, when I start new positions, there's always a lot going. So there had already been identified a need for other programs. Eval is required by all VAs, but we recognized that the range and grade range is what we look at was kind of wide, because there's a difference from someone who is a GS6 level versus a GS12. So there was already that need identified, and that was one of my first projects to work with an eval class actually with developing the STEP program. And HOP grew from a fire drill, actually.
Oh, really?
One of our graduates from STEP was in the hallway with us when we had a fire drill, and they were at that place where they had reached the maximum for being in STEP, but it was going to be a while before they'd be eligible for eval. So through that conversation, the supervisor and I and that gentleman kind of developed HOP of how we could get that in between. So now we have something for every single level.
Yeah, that is neat.
So very, very proud of what we were able to achieve.
Absolutely, and you were also instrumental in the mentoring program, and also so that was you've been behind the scenes doing a lot, doing a lot for us and stuff. And but I know you're going to do great things in our CAC and stuff. And because of your work, that's one of the reasons why you were selected as the Administrative Employee of the Year. Holy cow, you get that nice close parking spot for a whole year. I got it for 3 months, and my tour's coming up on Thursday.
And I'm changing spots. I'm getting nervous.
Are you?
I have to parallel park.
You're going to get mine?
And so I have mastered parallel parking.
Right.
I've got dibs on yours.
So you got dibs on my spot? All right. That is too awesome. But yeah, it's a well-deserved. And so how did you feel? How did you feel when you were selected?
I was very humbled. I was excited. When I left social work, a lot of people said, how do you make that difference between social work and getting into education? And it's very similar. You're still looking at people of where they want to go and get them to where they want to be.
So it's very, very satisfying seeing these people get these promotions and stuff as a result of being in the STEP and the HOP program and also eval and stuff. That's really something. And then so with it being Women's History Month, what woman inspired you, or women inspired you?
I would say probably the first is the Proverbs 31 woman, because she's just an example of what you want to become. From all aspects of being a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur involved in the community. But as far as women in my life would be my mother and my grandmother. They taught me the value of faith, which is huge, the importance of family, which is utmost importance, and the value of hard work. And putting others before you and their needs. And I think that's made me successful in social work and education, and hopefully as a CAC to really think about, what is it that I can do every day to make a difference in someone else's life.
Absolutely, we're going to be doing a good job with that. And I mean, you're in a great class as far as the Employee of the Year. You we just interviewed Miss Angela Coley and stuff, and both of y'all are very well. It's a well-deserved award because both of you guys are behind the scenes, and you're doing so much. Well, with education, you weren't behind the scenes. You kind of out there and stuff. Franklin Covey and all that stuff, doing that kind of training and stuff. And you've been. I'm sure there's folks out there where you have been an inspiration to them.
I hope so.
And stuff. Yeah, I enjoy working with you, and stuff. And I don't know what I can do for CAC, but
it's IT, so I assure you, it's a whole new world.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. So of course, Greg is always there to help, willing to help and stuff. So all right. So Laura, thank you for being on the show.
Sure.
Really appreciate you.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
And you're going to keep doing great things. I know you are.
That's my goal.
All right. And folks, we will be back with more Vinson Voice.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever? Because it could form a strong bond, regardless of age. If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 seasons.
Hi, I'm Perry Williamson. We've been serving the Dublin Lawrence community for over 90 years here at Williamson's Bakery. We specialize in donuts, cakes, pies, cupcakes, cookies, birthday cakes. They're our business, not a hobby. And don't forget our large selection of cheese straws. For special orders, contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or better yet, just come get you some. When you stop by, be sure to try our all-new Pig in the Blankets. We have bacon, sausage, and chicken. We're located at 1634 Veterans Boulevard, Dublin, Georgia. For the hot, freshest donuts, come to Williamson's Bakery. We proudly support our area athletics.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Vinson Voice. Now today we got a lady with us that I'm just always amazed by, Miss Pam McPhearson, RN. She's the head honcho in what we call our community living centers. Some people call them nursing homes. We don't like that terminology, do we, Pam? No, this is not nursing homes. These are where our veterans live. They live with us here in neighborhoods, and Pam runs that show and makes sure that those neighborhoods are just as good as they can be, down to a T, every detail. That's what she does, right?
Yes.
Pam,
yes.
Welcome to the show. So now you're an Army veteran, right?
I am.
Army veteran. Tell us a little bit about that. I was Navy, and I understand everybody don't get to be in the Navy. Some people have to go Army. I'm kidding, guys. Army guys, don't get upset. Tell us about your Army experience.
Okay, well, we forgive you. I did 20 years. I'm an Army critical care nursing officer. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So I did 20 years. I got out for about a year or so, and then I started here at Carl Vinson in 2016.
And we are so glad to have you here because you have been a dynamo. Dr. Hampton, our Associate Director for Patient Care Services, our chief nurse, basically, she came in. She said, I'm gonna hire this dynamic management team, and we're gonna make it the best it can be, and she has just done a wonderful job, and of course Pam was part of that. Now, critical care in the Army, tell me, now that's kind of like the emergency stuff. What is that like?
Critical care is in emergency care, well, in emergency nursing, they tend to stabilize, and then they send them up to the ICU. And so in ICU, we tend to do a little bit more than stabilize.
That's where you got the really folks are in bad shape. And
pretty much bad shape.
Some reason, now you won't know this, but the TV, for some reason the TV show MASH is popping in my mind. I don't know what that's about, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. So you're the one that jumped in there and you saved the lives. I mean, all nurses, of course, are lifesavers, but you're the ones that, hey, got to get this guy stabilized. Good friend of mine, Dave Lau, got hit in Afghanistan by an IED. And he talked about the nurses and the good medical folks that saved his life because he shouldn't have made it, but it was folks like you that did that and kept him here today to make him what he is. So Pam, let me ask you a question. We call our community living center. Tell us what that really means. What's that about?
Well, our community living centers are what we call, what we're moving towards is cultural transformation.
There you go.
And that's to really make it really more of a home-like environment. We don't want it to be or have that institutional effect or feel. And so that's what we've been really blessed with our senior leadership. So they're really pushing towards that. We want them to feel like they're at home, and that's really that whole purpose. So we allow our residents to bring a lot of their, our residents and their family members.
Yeah,
so they bring a lot of their items from home. They can do whatever they want.
They can cook if they want to.
They can cook. Bring in, they have some of the neighborhoods have ovens. Right now we expanded our memory care unit. So right now they have a nice cafe slash kitchen.
Yeah, so our memory care, that's a 10A.
That's 10A.
Again, you used to call it dementia ward. Well, that's, we don't like that language.
No.
That's so negative.
No, it is.
Memory care unit, that's
so
right.
it has a nice kitchen, a nice home-like environment, a nice living room area.
That's right.
And so we're going to be going for that for all of our areas.
That's fantastic.
Because like I said, we want them to get that feel as if they're at home.
Yeah, it really is cultural transformation. We're
is.
taking what used to be a more top-driven decision-making process in healthcare, and now we're saying, hey, what do you need as the patient? What do you need as the family? What does it look like for you? And yeah, the CLC, the Community Living Center, I used to go down there all the time, take our visitors there because it's so cool. You've got, it's just beautiful. It's almost like a resort in a lot of ways is the way I see it. I'm thinking, man, this is fantastic, because as a young person, I would go into what we call nursing homes, and I remember how, just honestly, how depressing it could be. That, you know, how does anybody get well here? Well, unfortunately, you know, kind of the idea wasn't necessarily for them to get well. It's almost like this is your last stage. We don't do that. We don't do that. Some of our patients go through temporarily, but some of them live with us, right? I mean, permanently.
Some of our residents have been with us for years. And so means some of our family members have been with us for years. So our residents and our families, they're like our families. And like I said, we want that environment to be like their homes. And so we're visiting them in their homes. It's not them visiting us.
There you go.
And that's what we want them to feel like.
That's right. They've even got the pharmacy cash down there, so they don't have to go far for their medicines and those types of things.
Exactly.
And you talk about family members being part of the team here. We've even got a bench out front called the Touchton Bench after Dr. Deborah Touchton, who died a few years ago. And her husband's here, and she cared for him.
Absolutely.
She was here basically on staff. She was just here all the time. But that's the kind of relationship we're shooting for. So what's the future for things like community living centers and that kind of idea, Pam? What do you think?
Well, the future is we're looking at building or establishing cottages for our residents.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and we're looking at moving all of our COCs. Right now it's kind of spread out, but we're going to be moving them all to one side of the facility. And then we're going to be having cottages, which will allow us to kind of minimize the number of residents, for each cottage. And so that's going to be great, because then you can kind of focus your attention, to a less amount.
It is more home. The last design I saw for that, Pam, was I want to say it was maybe 4 or 6 or 8 veterans per cottage. Something like that.
I think it can go maybe 8 to 10.
Something like that,
Which is really, really
well, you know, my interest in this started back when I was chief of police here, because we would get calls to violent interactions among veterans who were obviously had some memory issues. And so, of course, we're not going to run down there and arrest our veterans, but we had to document it. And I said, why does this happen? And it turned out we thought they were in such close proximity because one of the medical centers opened up those cottages, and guess what happened? Violence went to nothing, so it's more home-like. So you get a lot
I think what we have to realize is that a lot of our residents, sometimes we run into those who have dementia, and what we realize is that they can communicate. We just have to learn to understand their type of communication.
There you go.
And so, like I said, if we can focus on maybe the least amount of residents that are experiencing that, then we learn their communication, and they learn to kind of, deal with us in their environment.
That is the art of healthcare. That's what I try to do. We're not processing widgets here. These are individuals. There's never going to be another Sergeant John Smith who was, and we've got to communicate on that level. That's the art part. That's what you guys do, and our nurses
It's finding
are
out what it is that they like to do, and then making that available for them.
That's right. And that's a big thing in leadership, because I taught at FLETC's, the Department of Homeland Security's Federal Law Enforcement Training Center Leadership Institute for about 1.5 years. And he used to tell them the art part of leadership is determining what you need to motivate you. Well, how do I communicate with you and get the best out of you? And it can be done. And we do the same thing with our residents here. That's fantastic.
Yeah, the great thing I found out about being here at Carl Vinson is when I came in with our new ADPCS, Dr. Hampton.
That's right.
And she is very much into us identifying what the needs are for the residents.
Taking ownership.
And making that available.
It happen. That's right. She's a dynamo herself. I mean, if you've ever interacted with Dr. Hampton, she's all about this is where we want to go. The only question is how do we get there? Not whether we're going to get there, just what route are we going to take. Yeah, that's fantastic. Pam, I want to tell you, I'm always impressed with the healthcare folks generally. I always had a soft spot in my heart for nurses. That's why I'm working in nursing now, because you guys are where the rubber meets the road. And I'm always impressed with your skills and abilities. And I was a cop for 21 years, and I thought I saw a lot of stuff and did a lot of stuff, but I always said, man, I just don't know if I can do that nursing stuff. That stuff looks wild, man. I would hope I could, but I'm glad we got people like you around to care for America's heroes because they deserve that.
Thank you.
And thank you for the good work. And we had, oh, before I go, we had a long-term care institute review recently.
We did.
And we did what?
We did an awesome job.
We did an awesome job. These folks came in, that's our tough one for nursing. And these folks came in, and of course, we're waiting to see what we can learn to help improve. And it was just fantastic. I said, hey guys, you're on it. Stay on it. Just keep improving. And we have to attribute that to leadership. Dr. Hampton, but you run the show. You're the head honcho. So Pam, thank you for all you've done to make sure that keeps happening. And make sure you thank your folks, okay? Folks, we'll be right back with some more Vinson Voice.
Tax season is here, and Jackson's Income Tax Service is open and ready to serve you. We've started processing tax returns now, so don't delay. Come in today and get your taxes done and out of the way. Yes, you can come in with your last check stub for an estimate or get your return completely processed with your year-end W-2s and other tax documents. The season is here, and we look forward to doing business with you. We can be reached year-round at 610 North Church Street, right here in downtown Dublin. Open from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Call us at 272-8681. Jackson's Income Tax Service, established in 1987, providing quality customer service and maintaining an ethical and professional tax practice.
Come to Jackson's Income Tax Service, where experience makes the difference.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Orr Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Vinson Voice. I'm your host, Greg Swartz. Hey, you know, we always talk about a few things at the end of the show. First one's going to be, you know, our veteran suicide. It's a tough thing to talk about. One life is too many, you know, to lose. One life is too many to lose. So if you know somebody that may be in a situation where they're, you know, where they may have suicidal ideations or they're showing those signs, first thing you need to do, if you can, talk to them. Okay. Talk to them, and a lot of times that'll, you know, they just need somebody to listen to them, and, you know, give them, you know, if you can, give them some help. But we want you to get them to this number right here, the Veterans Suicide Hotline, Veterans Crisis Line. Okay, we got a lot of warm people on the other end of that line that want to help and make sure that these veterans get the help that they need. All right, so get them to this number right here. The next thing we always talk about is veterans homelessness. You know, if you know somebody a veteran that may be in a situation where they're living in unlivable conditions or kind of borderline, or they may be in jeopardy of losing their home, please get them to this number right here, 1-877-48-VET. And once again, we've got people on the other line. They're very caring, wanting to help veterans. And we're going to try to get you the help that you need. We're going to do our very best to get you the help that you need. All right. And then, you know, with it being Women's History Month, you know, I wanted to talk about maybe, you know, some positive influences that helped influence my life. My grandparents, my grandmothers, you know, they're both gone now, but they made a lasting impression on me when I was growing up. And the next one's going to be, you know, Miss Teresa Holmes. Teresa L. Holmes, she kind of mentored me for a little while. She'll tell you in a heartbeat that I was her most challenging mentee and stuff, but I'm here. I came along. She actually saved my life one time, and I will never, ever, ever forget that. And I'm real thankful for her being in my life right now. We still have on. She's been gone from the VA for, I guess, what, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. But yeah, she still made a lasting impression on me, and we pretty much talk daily, and all, you know, going back and forth, maybe chatting or something like that, or instant messaging. But she's there all the time. All right, and so, and I always say at the end of the show, we can still change the world. All it takes is one act of kindness today. I'm your host, Greg Swartz, and we'll see you next week on the Vinson Voice.